Ladies and gentlemen, TTD Average Gamer here, bringing you a review on Reaper, a Pale Swordsman. I've done this about 7 times already today. They've all been complete disasters, so we're going to give it another go. And this one's probably going to be short, sweet, and lacking any enthusiasm. Let me assure you, when I first started, I was like, oh, it's Reaper Pale Swordsman, this is amazing, I'm so pleased to be talking to you wonderful people on the internet. Now I'm like, oh my god, this is the 7th time I've done it. I don't really like the game. I'm just going to carry on in a monotone voice and hope that someone likes this or that someone watches it. But at this moment in time, I've given up all hope. So it's made by Hexage. They're a Polish company, I believe. It was on Android first of all, which explains a lot of the fighting system, which I'll come to later. And then I believe it was taken across to Xbox and PlayStation before the PC, as it probably fits those styles slightly better. So there we go, little click through of what's what. This is the about page. Follow them on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Options page, very limited, not a lot there. So let's go start. 2 different game modes, Wilderness and Dark Harvest. Never played Dark Harvest, so it could be amazing, but I'll be basing my review on what I've played, which is the Wilderness. Gamepad controls, obviously the game appears to be better on a gamepad because there are no configurable buttons or whatnot for the keyboard, which for a PC is a bit of a poor show. Basic premise of the game is that you wander around this quite big map. Given the game only costs like £4, the map's massive and there's lots and lots to do on the map. The idea of the story is you have these guys, the Imperials, look at me, the Imperials, who are always the bad guys, generic bad guys, the Imperials, going up against the generic good guys / bad guys, the local tribesmen. So there they are, all located around the map. Don't forget those guys, Shazam. They're at war, they don't like one another, but there's a bigger threat, and that's demons. Demons are suddenly taking over the land because these guys are mining too much stuff, which is bringing demons to life, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's demons, I hate demons, can't you beat them up, Pale Swordsman guy? And I'm like, look, I'm just one guy with a sword, you have guns, can't you deal with the demons? And they're like, no, I can't deal with the demons. And I'm like, my god's sake, alright, I'll slash him in the face. And that's pretty much the general gist of the game, you jumping up next to things and slashing them in the face. It was ideal for like a London gangs themed TV show. So here we go. This is one of the option menus. You can come to this person here. She's a blacksmith, therefore she makes weapons, armor, and all that kind of good stuff. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maths is strong. 8 different slots to fill, which affect the stats that you have here: block chance, endurance, strength, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much the general gist of the infantry store. It's quite limited, but it looks quite nice, it works well, and the game's only £4, right? So you can't win them all. This person here sells you different enchantment, and this person here will actually increase your stats. You increase your stats by leveling. As you can see, the experience never increases massively. I only need 5,500 to get to level 34. Click this little button here, and this takes you through to your character profile. The skills that you have are achieved via these tarot cards here. I've gone for a massive crit build, loving the RNGesus. And these are the different skills that you have in the game. So you pick these up as you level. You normally get an option of one of these, occasionally get some of these, and occasionally get some of these rare ones like this, greed and fortune and so on and so forth. But all in all, that part of the game works really well, no complaints there. Now, I don't want to show you the story or spoil anything as I'm quite close to the end. At least I think I am. I've been playing for like 9 hours, right? Got to be vaguely close. But what I will say about the story is that it's quite long, which is cool, value for money and all that, but it's not very varied. You literally walk to some place, they'll be like, I want you to go and slay a demon, please. You'll be like, I don't want to slay any more demons, I've slayed a lot of demons. They'll be like, look, I'll give you 4,000 gold, go and slay a demon, and you're like, oh, go on then. So they send you somewhere, you normally get attacked halfway there, you kill whatever attacks you, then you go to the actual place, and then you kill whatever's there, go back, and when you go back, they say, oh, thanks very much, here's some money, at which point you can normally say, no, you slag, I want more money. And they say, no. Then you say, look, I'll poke your goddamn eyes out, unless you give me more money. At which point they say no, you then poke their eyes out, they give you more money. But they may then not give you another quest as they're angry at you. That's surprisingly hard to say. They may then not give you, other stuff as they're angry, but if you accept the money straight away, they're likely to give you other quests. Now, I haven't completed the game, but I believe one of the big selling points of the game is that the decisions you make will actually affect the ending. They will influence it in some shape, way or form. I'm currently at the Torken Arena. This is where you can grind gold, basically. I am ready. Let's show you fine people the combat system. The first thing to note is that I don't require a mouse for this fighting. You see all the slashes that I'm making here? All this hacking and slashing, all this slashing? Apart from that one, all of this normal slashing, slashy, slashy, slash, is done simply by walking into their face, which really annoys me. There's so little control over the combat system. As you can see, enemies drop gold, you pick them up by jumping into them. But yes, so to kill this person, I have to walk towards them and then slash them in the face. No real skill involved whatsoever. The only skill comes in trying to dodge attacks and so on. You can see that as I've been doing those generic slashes, skulls have been appearing at the top of the screen. Now those skulls dictate the power, I got the power, of your special attacks, which are as follows: the downward smash, the uppercut, the fancy spin, and the dash, which is also a really annoying feature in that it doesn't translate very well to PC. As say you're holding left and you accidentally press it again, you will dash. You haven't got a double tap. There's also a stomp, as you see there. So the whole idea of fighting is to gain as many skulls as you can, or to gain skulls and then use the ability that you've skilled up most, which for me is the downward smash. Oh, let's try and get away from there. You can interact with the environment. My health's actually quite low, I should probably pay more attention. Yeah, could die, that'd be embarrassing, but I'll get over it. So the braziers there can be interacted with. You can interact with lots of things in the environment. On this particular level you can't, but you can often interact with spikes on the floor. You can jump on certain squiggly things which give you more height when you jump. So there are all types of cool stuff like that. So the actual environment when you fight is quite interactive. But what's not interactive is really the combat system. It's very generic, it's quite boring. I'm gonna die and then everyone's gonna lol like that. We'll go again. We're going again. But yeah, that's pretty much the basics of the combat system. Now, if I can do it whilst I'm not talking, hopefully I can show you how it should work in practice. The idea is to get behind your opponent so they can't do any damage to you, and then smash them in the face without taking too much damage yourself. The braziers are quite dangerous in that they do 5 damage to you, which is quite a lot of damage compared to some of the enemy hits. As you can see, you have floating enemies, you have non-floating enemies, so that's quite cool, but once you've fought them all like 7,000 times each, it just becomes a bit boring. The whole game itself is just a bit long-winded and a little bit boring. So, coming on to a rating for the game, I'm going to do a revolutionary thing, something you may not have seen before. My plan is, now brace yourselves, my plan is to score this game by giving it a number between 1 and 10. Now, depending on how good the game is, will depend on how high that number is. If it's very good, it'll get a 10. If it's not so good, it'll get a 1. You see, this is revolutionary stuff, never done before. Never seen before in a reviewing system. So, ladies and gentlemen, after playing this game for about 9 hours now, about 7 of which have been this morning trying to record this ridiculous video that no one's going to watch. I punched my microphone there, I do apologise. I've decided that it's very long-winded, which is value for money wise, don't get me wrong. That's cool. Also, don't fall into that lava down there. That lava does like 60 damage. It's cool that it's quite so long and that you don't pay a lot of money for it, but it would be so much better. If this game was 4 hours long, you wouldn't get bored. It wouldn't become tedious. It would always just be decent. And that's how you should do it. But as it's so long and all you do is walk backwards and forwards, fighting random things, it just isn't that much fun. So, even though in principle it's not a bad idea, it looks quite pleasing, it's very cheap, it's very long, it just is too repetitive for my liking, and there's not enough control in the battle system, which is basically the key feature of the game, which you spend 90% of your time battling things, and that isn't that much fun. So all in all, I am going to give Reaper, a Pale Swordsman, an overall score of 5 out of 10. It's an average game, it's probably worth having a look at, as it will kill a good few hours, and if you like walking up to things and just punching them in the face, then it's probably your bag. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I so hope this is recorded. If it hasn't, I'm going to go find a dark corner and cry myself to sleep. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching. If you do like the video, please like it. If you like my content, then please subscribe. Very much in the early stages of my YouTubing. It's very much a hobby. I have the joys of project managing for a real living. This is just a bit of fun that I have at the weekend when the girlfriend's not around and I can't get hold of any decent hookers. So if you do like it, then please subscribe, please like the videos, please excuse the fact that the editing quality isn't massively good as I'm very lazy. But thank you so much for watching. Peace up, A-Town down, you're all awesome.